Listen to the poem, New Tongue, by Elizabeth L Kamara. New tongue. They speak in a new tongue. And dance new dances. Minds battered into new modes and shapes. Their eyes revel in the wonder of the new. Embraced and bound to hearts with impregnable chains. The old songs as disregarded dreams. Remnants of a past. Ties of family and friendship. Loosened, broken, burnt. The ashes strewn into the bottomless sea. As fishes swim by. Careless of the loss. Mindful of where they dare. A new generation. Careless of bonds. Of family. Of tradition. Of heritage. They care not. Nor revere the old. Their minds turn inwards. Only inwards. Like the insides of clothes. That marry the bodies of mankind. No room for elders. No. Not even on the edge of their minds. Their ears blocked to the old tongue. And ways of doing things. Glorying in their new newness of a borrowed tongue and culture. Every man. For himself. By himself. Of himself. A strange coldness descending like snow-covered mountain. Or like bathing at the back of the house. On a rainy July day. The gusts of wind falling trees. Carting roofs away. Tugging skirts. And swirling debris in the air. Their borrowed shoes dance. Their borrowed minds parted the Red Sea long ago. They hang the last lock on their culture. And glide into the future. Without a backward glance. Elizabeth Kamara's poem, New Tongue, is a poignant, layered critique of cultural erosion, generational change, and identity dislocation in the face of modernity and Westernization. Here's a comprehensive analysis of its meaning, themes, literary devices, tone, structure, and messages. What the poem is about. At its core, New Tongue explores the disconnection between a younger generation and their cultural heritage. The speaker laments the loss of traditional values, languages, customs, and interpersonal bonds as people embrace a new tongue, a metaphor for Western or foreign culture, language, and ideology. The poem evokes a sense of sorrow and warning about how the adoption of alien values leads to cultural amnesia and a fragmented identity. Themes. 1. Cultural displacement and identity loss. The new tongue symbolizes colonial legacies, globalization, and cultural imperialism. The people adopt foreign ways and discard their roots, resulting in a loss of cultural identity. The imagery of borrowed shoes and borrowed minds underscores inauthenticity, a generation living in someone else's legacy. 2. Generational divide. The poem contrasts the elders, tied to tradition, with a younger generation that has rejected their inheritance. Lines like, "No room for elders," and "Their ears blocked to the old tongue," depict the dismissal of ancestral wisdom. 3. Alienation and individualism. Every man /for himself /by himself /of himself reflects a hyper-individualistic society, estranged from communal living. Traditional communal bonds are loosened, broken, burnt, replaced by cold detachment. 4. Loss of oral tradition. The poem implicitly critiques how language, as a vessel of culture and memory, is abandoned. Their ears blocked to the old tongue. 5. Nature as indifferent witness. The fish swimming, careless of the loss, symbolize nature's apathy to human cultural loss, a sobering reminder of how time moves on, indifferent to human tragedies. Messages and lessons. Preserve your heritage. The poem pleads for the preservation of language, stories, and customs before they vanish entirely. Value elders and tradition. It warns against the hubris of youth and the cost of ignoring ancestral wisdom. Cultural borrowing is not identity. The poem suggests that borrowing another culture without grounding in one's own leads to rootlessness. Modernity should not mean erasure. There's an implicit lesson that progress need not come at the expense of one's cultural soul. Literary devices. Metaphor. New tongue, a metaphor for a foreign language/culture, possibly English or Western culture. Borrowed shoes/borrowed minds, emphasizes imitation and loss of authenticity. A strange coldness descending, the emotional detachment that comes with rejecting tradition. Imagery. Vivid natural imagery. Bathing at the back of the house / on a rainy July day. Conjures discomfort and nostalgia. Violence and destruction. The gusts of wind falling trees / carting roofs away. Suggest the disruptive power of change. Repetition. Repetition of new emphasizes the obsession with novelty. Phrases like, "They care not," and "No room for elders," stress apathy and rejection. Structure and tone. Free verse, flowing without regular rhyme, mirrors the fragmentation of tradition. The tone is lamenting, nostalgic, accusatory, and ultimately mournful. Interpretation and commentary. Kamara's poem is a cultural elegy, mourning not just what is lost, but what is carelessly discarded. The speaker implies that the adoption of foreign culture is not done through thoughtful integration, but through abandonment. There is a quiet violence in the transformation. Bonds are burnt, elders forgotten, traditions thrown to the bottomless sea. The metaphor of people turning inward, like the insides of clothes, speaks to a generation that has internalized individualism and closed themselves off from collective memory. The absence of elders, even on the edge of their minds, symbolizes complete generational dislocation. Conclusion. New Tongue is a powerful reflection on the dangers of cultural loss in a post-colonial, globalized world. Elizabeth Kamara voices a call to remember, to revalue what is being forgotten in the rush toward modernity. The poem encourages readers to think critically about what is gained and what is lost when a culture shifts and whether the price is too high.